Frankly, I mean, this just seems, yeah, it's so simple. Things like this that are so new never go simply. So again, this right now it's voluntary, but and some companies, all companies have to pay a little bit to implement this program. And you said there are 28 other states who do this? Is that list laying around somewhere?
We had that list. I can provide it.
Sure like to see it before we vote on it.
Somebody got that? Because he was for it a while ago, now I think he's against it.
Well, it's just, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I mean, it's just, this seems like something that a company can take advantage of, because it just seems, well, to milk your accounting or milk your hours. I mean, just something doesn't add up right here. It's just...
Mr. Chairman and Delegate Farrell, the states that are participating are Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, District of Columbia, Florida, Iowa, Kansas, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Texas, Vermont, Washington, and Wisconsin. And similar to those states' programs, if you look at the bill, what we would have to stop this, what you're saying, which may be wage fraud, abuse, or an abuse of the system, would be that the state is involved in the plan. It has to look at the plan, accept the plan, probably look at the viability of the company coming out of this work share program to make sure that we're not throwing good money after bad. So I think what you have, the stopgap that will ensure that we're not just taking things willy-nilly as a company wants to in order to compensate that company, bring benefits unnecessarily to it, is that the keen eyes of EDC will take care of that.
All right, we've got time for one more question. Delegate Russ, and then we're going to have to do something.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If I understand this correctly, you could have this program for 1 year, and a person, the hours could be reduced by between 10% and 60% for that 1 year, and the employer must provide certain benefits.
Yes, maintain benefits that were provided previously.
Okay, my question is, and maybe there's not an answer, I have an ESOP company, and to be in my ESOP, you have to have worked so many hours within that year. And let's just say, under this program, somebody was only going to work 1 day a week for that year, they wouldn't meet the number of hours. How do you address that, or do we address that?
Mr. Chair, let me call on the person who was involved in administering the program. Thank you.
Thank you. The situation that you articulated would have to be assessed by that employer. Not all employers, it's not a good fit.
Right.
Shared work is not a good fit for all employers, and it may not be. Remember, the plan that Senator Stanley and Senator Barker are talking about would go to the Virginia Employment Commission. They would discuss that plan and see if it was a good fit for them. Employers across the country participated, these 27 states. 1/3 of the employers that participate have 50 or less employees. And nothing in this law would require an employer to move a person from full-time to permanent part-time, which is the issue around Obamacare. Nothing in this law, nothing in federal law. This is a UI program, not a healthcare program. Okay.
All right, Senator Stanley, you have the last word.
If I can just close, Mr. Chairman, thank you for the consideration that you've given this bill. Just to let you all know, in the states that we've listed with WorkShare, it's estimated by a study that the program safeguarded approximately 165,000 American jobs in 2009 and another 100,000 American jobs in 2010. Just in one encapsulation, the state of Washington alone saved 30,000 jobs in 2010. And these are American jobs that are saved, and certainly we want to have that. Coming from Southside, it can be quite psychological downer for all of us when we have these layoffs of these companies, and we take a good workforce that is trained and we turn them on the sideline and become dependent on the state for its revenue, for their revenues, rather than being independent and saving money for their kids' college education and housing and the like. So I would hope that this committee would look upon this bill favorably. We need it in Southside.
All right. Is anybody from the NFIB here? They left. All right. All right.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I have a amendment I'd like to propose to the bill.
All right, what line?
I'd like to put a sunset clause on it for 5 years. If it's so
Okay.
good, doesn't have any problems with it, then
No,
we'll just
okay.
easily renew it.
No objection.
All right, can we do that, Frank, at the end of the bill? And you make that motion, do I have a second? And that way we'll know if there's any issues with it.
Yeah. It's 5 years, long time, too, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, that bill, the amendment to the bill would read that the provisions of this act shall expire on, we wanted 5 years?
Yes.
July 1.
July 1, 2019.
Mr. Chairman, I think the bill doesn't take effect until July 1, 2015,
So
by
July
the fourth
1,
enactment clause.
it'll be July 1, 2000. January 1.
I'm sorry, January 1, 2015.
So it'll be January 1, 2020. In time for us to, the 2020 General Assembly to address that. Golly.
We'll be in a new building, it'll be great.
All right, all those in favor of that amendment say aye. Opposed? What's your pleasure on the bill?
Move to put the amendment.
All right, have a
Mr. Chairman.
motion to report and a second.
Substitute motion.
All right,
5 for the week. Speak to the motion. If I get a second. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman.
I think you got 2 minutes and the opposing side has 2 minutes on that one.
Mr. Chairman, we've heard from the patrons, we've heard from someone who I don't know who that is sitting on the front row, who's worked with federal government contractors who was very passionate about his feelings on the bill. But we've heard from the chamber, but we haven't heard from small business representatives. I'd like to hear from the NFIB. I'd like to hear what they have to say. I'd like to hear from the manufacturers. I'd like to hear what they have to say. I think there are representatives of issues and interests here that have not been heard that need to be heard. So I'd ask you to support the motion.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, do I have an alternative view?
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I truly believe if that was the case, you would have thought they would have been here. It's just like the side here, they're here to present the case. And those who are not here, I really believe if they really care about this and have a passion about this, they would have been here just as these folks are here. I'm asking that we do not do this.
Mr. Chairman, is there any time left in the 2 minutes? I spoke to NFIB today. I was told they did not have a position on the bill and were staying indifferent to it. I also think as a matter of policy for this committee, when an advocacy group doesn't come to offer an opinion, I don't think we hold up this committee's business waiting on an advocacy group that was in the room and left the room that chose not to offer an opinion.
All right,
So,
you still got about 20 seconds. Are you for or against?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just point out the Unemployment Compensation Commission looked at it and reported it 4-0, and it passed the Senate almost unanimously. So if there were people opposed to it, they would have spoken up by now.
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Miller.
Mr. Chairman, I'd have to disagree with my good colleague from Salem. There's no standing procedure on this committee. I think it's just a courtesy. It's just 5 for the week. I also would like to ask the manufacturers.
We're not, but the question, the
Whether they were
problem
here or
is
not.
we're not meeting next week.
By
I mean, I'm just telling you what that does to your bill.
By till Thursday.
You said
So-
5 for the week. So it'd be 5 for the day.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I could amend my motion to 5 for the day.
All right, 5 for the day.
Mr. Chairman.
Do I have a second on the
Mr.
5
Chairman,
for the day?
Point of
Order?
inquiry, point of order.
Yeah.
And there's some, would this be considered one of those bills that has to be done by tomorrow?
No, I don't think so.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, all those in favor of taking it 5 for the day, say aye. Opposed? No. All right, noes, whoever's opposed to it taking 5 for the day, raise your hand. Those in favor of taking it 5 for the day, raise your hand. So what's this? All right. Not 5 for the day, that motion failed, so the motion now before us is to report. Members wish to report as amended, vote on electronic voting board. Clerk will close the roll. Senate Bill 110 reports as amended. I'm going to school 14-5.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one more bill which will be very short.
Yeah, he said that before, too. All right, financial literacy board 266.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Senate Bill 266 is a bill which was amended. I put an original bill in which would have allowed for some benefits to be had by those in unemployment who took financial literacy courses. What we're finding in all of our reports, even the Commonwealth of Virginia's report on poverty, is that one of the underlying factors is financial literacy. We teach them financial literacy to our children, but we're not teaching it to adults, and especially in a changing world that we have in terms of the economy and economics and how to save and how to put away money for college education and houses. This is a very important tool for those that are who are unemployed to have while they're looking for work or getting education or getting back on their feet. What this bill does is it would help, especially in Southside and Southwest Virginia, where in my district poverty rates are 20.5%. That's 1 in 5 families living in poverty. 1 in 4 of our children are at or near or below the poverty line. Financial literacy is an important step of breaking the cycle and the chain of poverty. And what we have done as amended, the bill enables the Virginia Employment Commission, in collaboration with its workforce service partners and the community colleges, to develop a financial literacy course that will be widely available at no cost to the claimant that receives unemployment benefits. It's a voluntary action. It will be made available. They will be made aware of its availability, and hopefully they will choose to take that course while they're looking for work after they've been laid off or fired or unemployed. I had discussions with both the VEC and the community college system. The community college system says they already teach a financial literacy course, so putting a financial literacy course together and basically putting it on DVD, video, and taping it as they would be no cost.
I just had a question for the patron who was done with the presentation.
And just at no cost. So what you have is a collaborative effort between the VEC and so it would be no cost, no fiscal impact, and I hope it's the pleasure of the committee to look favorably upon this bill.
I just had a couple questions. The first question was, is the term workforce service partner entities a defined term in the code?
Mr. Chairman and Delegate Habib, I'm not so familiar with all the definitions and all the sections of all the code, but that was the word that was given to me by, I believe, the community college and the VEC.
Yeah, and Mr. Chairman, I guess the reason I'm asking that question is because, frankly, I'm stunned that there's no fiscal impact in this. I mean, there isn't. They say there isn't. I'll trust them, but I don't have any idea what workforce service partner entities means. I assume that means something to the commission. It's either a term that they use internally or maybe it's an official term. But what we are ultimately saying is not just that they have to tell you about this class, but then they have to give you the class for free. And not knowing who the workforce, I mean, I get you say the community colleges will do it, but that's not what the bill says. The bill says the workforce service partner entities and the commission will do it. And so that just concerns me that whoever those undefined people are, that they're going to be mandated to provide this course for free.
Mr. Chairman and Delegate Habib, my understanding were the community colleges were included in that vague description as you brought out, so that would be, but they're the ones that, in collaboration with VEC and working on this bill, were the ones that say, we've got the program, we've already got it done, it's a matter of putting on an instrument by which it can be delivered to the claimant.
Mr. Chairman, could the VEC tell us if that term means something to them?
Yes,
Yes, Chair. Jason Padgett, VEC. Workforce services partners to us does not just include the community college, it also includes people that we work with in the workforce centers. It was our understanding of the bill that we would not teach it, but we would just offer, pamphlet on it to the website, information on the course, but not to actually offer.
Right, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
And so I agree that what the bill says, that you all have to just provide the information, but then the people who offer the course, who are probably doing it for compensation now, have to start doing it for free to this universe of people that you've told about it. And so the concern I have is,
The Workforce Investment Act, according to my expert here, we pay for that. Is that right? Delegate McClellan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In the Education Committee a few years ago, when we passed a bill to require financial literacy courses to be provided in the schools, it was represented then, and this is also reflected in the fiscal impact statement, that banks and credit unions and other financial institutions had already put these financial literacy courses together for free and provided them to the schools. And it is my understanding, and what the fiscal impact statement says, and it sounds like what VEC just said, is the idea is those same courses that are currently being provided for free by a number of different institutions would then be provided to these individuals. And to the extent that there would be any costs, the fiscal impact statement says is that they could seek funding for those costs through the Workforce Incentive Program, but the fact that there are already free courses available that would then be put on a DVD and given to an individual, I don't think there should be a cost. The other thing I would note is when we passed that bill, a lot of the banks and financial institutions, as part of their foundations, use the foundation funding to cover the costs of those programs.
Mr. Chairman, is anyone here from the Virginia Community College System? No. Do you know what the fiscal impact is? First of all, here's what I see from reading the bill. And what Delegate McClellan said is correct. Sure, we have the banks, and some of those are doing that in the schools mainly. But this is open to anybody that is a job seeker to be able to go out and be able to take these courses. And I don't think they're going to go to a school to get that done. So it says that
here's what we're going to do. We're going to take it 5 for the day. You're going to find out. We're going to try to find out with the community colleges what is going on, and we'll get moving on with the next one. Otherwise, we would be reinventing the wheel here.
I look forward to seeing you all again.
I'm sure you did.
Mr. Chairman, so we could take it 5 for the day to get more information on this one, but we couldn't honor Delegate Klein's to take it 5 for the day to get more information?
Senator Locke.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have Senate Bill 18.
Sorry, Senate Bill 18.
Senate Bill 18 would provide